What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Fallout video, and I'm bringing you a modded character build for Fallout 4, and that's something a little bit different that I haven't done in a while. But today, the kind of genre I want to keep to this one is that if you are really good at Fallout and you want a challenge, or you've beat the game and you want something different, or you're bored or something like that, this character build is going to be for you. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to be making it a survival modded character, and it's going to be really difficult because all the mods are making your game more difficult, along with the survival game modes. So it's going to be super hard to actually beat this game and play through it. So it's another challenge if you guys would like to do that. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to be doing a pretty important update for anybody who cares. So if you want to see it, make sure you stay till the end of the video because you probably won't want to miss it. So if you guys do go on to enjoy this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and let's get right into it.
War never changes.
You're gonna knock him dead at the Veterans Hall tonight, hun.
You think?
Alright guys, so for this survival build, I'm going to be telling you the attributes that you're going to want to need for your character. And the first thing you're going to want is strength. You want to set that to 1 or just leave it at 1. Perception, you actually want to put to 9. That's because I want to do a very reliable VATS build for this. Endurance at 2. Charisma stays at 1. Intelligence goes to 4. Agility goes to 7. And luck goes to 4 as well. Now, later on, I'm going to tell you the special book, which is going to be luck that you want to get right out of Sanctuary. Now, like I said before in previous videos where I do character builds, you can also change up these a little bit as you want. So let's say you don't want to do VATS all that much, you kind of put some more in Charisma, something like that to be more persuasive. You can always change it up to match how you want to play a little bit better, but this is kind of like the standard that I felt would work best for this build, just because kind of want to stay the distance, because enemies are going to be a lot stronger now that you have a survival difficulty plus the mods. So once you are out of the vault and you have talked to Codsworth and made it right with him, go ahead and go into your old house in Sanctuary, head over into Sean's bedroom and grab the special book. Now for the special book, we actually want to be upgrading our luck attribute just because it doesn't really lacking a little bit in that area, but also you can change it to whatever you want. Like I said, you can make it whatever you want, but this is kind of what I want to do for my character. Now it is time to talk about the mods that you're going to want to be equipping for this character build. Alright guys, so the first mod we have is the World is Dying mod by Fulgore2727, and this guy, I've used plenty of his mods in the past, and he's a very good mod creator, and I definitely recommend his mods. So basically what this mod does is it basically just makes the game increasingly difficult while also keeping with the survival feel of the game. So here's a little list of the things that he has added into it. For Sneak, he removed the ability to not set off traps and mines. The Lady Killer and Black Widow, which does 2% and 5% and 8% damage. The Strong Back is plus 10 instead of plus 20. Rooted is plus 10 DR and plus 10 damage, which it was 2020. Better Criticals is at 10% of what it normally is. Aqua Boy and Aqua Girl is gain 100 rad resistance while in water instead of immunity. Adamantium Skeleton is 10% besides 20% less limb damage. Nuclear Physicist is 5% instead of 10% fusion core duration. Life Giver is plus 10 per rank, no regen. Nerd Rage, 5% plus damage, DR instead of 15. Vans now gives additional 5% XP, and along with the lines, it just makes the game a lot more difficult. There's also a whole bunch of other little things he added in, such as like Chemist, like chems don't last as long as they do, and pickpocketing is like a less chance of getting that. So basically, it's like survival, except he like made it more difficult for all the things that survival didn't implement. So it's really cool mod. I definitely have used it in the past, and it's just super cool, and it's gonna make your like gameplay a lot more hard to do. The next mod you're going to need for this build is the Survival Mode Reduced Loot mod by Sergeant Schultz 11. This guy is also a really good mod creator. I definitely recommend him as well. But basically what this does is a Survival Mode add-on. This mod reduces the chances and amounts of ammo, stim packs, armor, weapons, and chems found in containers to make Survival Mode feel even more immersive. Scrounger and Fortune Finder should have minimal effect with this mod activated. Make every shot count, boys and girls. So in Fallout, I think they give you too much ammo in general, just because after, like, by the end of the game, you have so much ammo, you have to worry about it at all, really. But this kind of gives you, like, you have to make a choice. You're like, do I want to kill this super mutant, or just want to rafe him without using all my, like, 5.56 ammo, all that, you know? So, it gives you a choice, and it's also kind of like a downfall, because normally, you have a ton of ammo, but now you actually don't. So you have to, like, think and use strategies in your game without carelessly using all of your ammo. The next mod we have for this is going to be the Just Strong People mod by Govno Rider. Now, basically what this mod does is, it makes the raiders, gunners, and triggermans more strong with the exception of some quests people. So, basically instead of having, like normally in survival, it doesn't really decrease the damage all that much, so you're going to still be able to kill people pretty fast. Even like when you get farther down the line farther into the campaign, it gets still, like when you're in survival, it's still kind of easy once you have everything. But this actually keeps the enemies pretty difficult and strong, and during the beginning, I will admit it is very, very, very hard to actually get going and start to kill people without dying. And as you can see in the gameplay here, whenever you actually shoot people, it does take a lot of damage for them to actually die. The next mod needed for this build is the Weather Redux mod by Lamanize, and I've used this mod in the past in videos, and I still use it to this day. And basically, this is just an immersive weather modification for the game, and you get adds in a whole bunch of new storms and new types of weather into the game, such as heavy varieties such as rain, fog, and rad storms. So it's going to be raining super hard or super foggy or sometimes like a lot of rad storms. But also, besides that, it also ends in completely new different storms such as plasma storms, which are storms causing high bursts of radiation, occur less frequently than rad storms though. So they're basically rad storms except they're a lot more like powerful than rad storms. There's also the dust storm, which leaves like, as you can see, was like the reddish type weather, which is actually one of like the really cool ones. Makes it kind of hard to see, but what they do, they're a violent wind and dust that blot out the landscape. There's no negative effects, but they're uncommon. They don't occur along the coast, southern swamps, or the glowing sea. There's also the thunderstorm, which is basically a rainstorm with lightning that can occur during the daytime. The regular nighttime thunderstorm is still the dominant thunderstorm you'll see, though. They also added some changes to the storms, as the duration is one of them. The storms now last longer, a minimum of 6 hours up to a maximum of 32 hours. The rad storms have a reduced chance of happening, but they last longer and are still dangerous. Probability of weather events, they change the probability of storms that have been altered. The weather will still be clear most of the time, but rain, fog, and mist occur slightly more frequently. Rad storms occur just a little less frequently. Dust storms are more frequent than rad storms. Finally, plasma storms are very rare. There's also dark nights, and the nights are extremely dark with this mod. Sneaking in the dark is a bit easier now, and the night vision scopes and NAS perks have been edited to be more effective that night, so that's going to be more helpful. You also want to use your Pip-Boy and power armor or like a mining helmet during this time because it's also super difficult to see during that time. The final mod needed for this build is the Tribals of the Commonwealth mod by Fulgore2727 again, and you don't have to have this mod in your game, it's just something kind of cool that I thought I'd add to add in another enemy type into the game. But this mod adds a tribal group in the world. They prefer to live far from society and are often found in the wilderness and do not like to be disturbed. They will attack in case you get closer. For an example, there's one group near the USA of Olivia. The color of their face tattoo represents their function of the group. This work is in progress, so any feedback is welcome. So basically, they added in a kind of like type of Indian type people into the game, which I thought was really, really cool. There's actually a pack of them outside a sanctuary in like the wilderness area, which they can be kind of difficult to actually fight whenever you're at low level, but I feel like they still kind of cool to add into the game, to add in a little bit more difficulty and variety into the game to make it feel a little bit more new. The different types of enemies you can actually find are the Tribal Warrior has a black tattoo and represented in the front lines and is a majority of the population. There's also the Tribal Chief that has a red tattoo on his face, and they are the Masters of Fire, so they're going to be carrying around like a flamethrower and stuff like that. There's also the Tribal Berserker, which has a blue tattoo, and they're stupid and use a super mutant voice, but they are strong, huge, and they represent the symbol of the tribal fighting like a barbarian warrior. There's also a Tribal Huntress, which has the green tattoo, and they are always accompanied with animal companions. They stay far away from the group and tracing an area or hunting, so they are going to have like mongrel dogs with them and stuff like that. Also, I've noticed with these guys, they do sometimes have like bears with them, so the Yaguai, which are kind of really, really powerful if you're in survival mode, especially if you're low level, so they can be very dangerous. So if you're like kind of low on health or don't have much ammo, you kind of want to stay away from them a little bit. They also added a new challenge into the game. So those are all the mods that you're going to need for this character build, and some final advice I'd like to give you for this build is that kind of keep your distance with this build. You're going to want a like sniper rifle or something like that to keep at a distance and take out enemies from afar, because if you get up really close to these women, these enemies are going to melt you because they have an increased amount of damage and they have an increased amount of health. So they're very, very hard to kill if you have a pistol. As you can see in the gameplay, I wasn't very, very smart. Tried to run up on them, so you're going to want to stay at a distance. Get like a pipe rifle or a laser musket with a scope so you're super accurate from far range and take people out from afar. That is if you have the perception perk ranked up like I did, but if you change it, kind of do your own way that matches your playstyle. But other than that, just be careful because it's survival, you know, so be fun with this, guys. It's a super fun build to use, and now that I've pretty much talked about as much as I need to for this character build, I kind of want to talk to you guys about the update, and this is basically for all like the subscribers and stuff like that who actually care. But If you guys have noticed, during the summer, I was actually streaming like every single day, and as you can probably tell, there wasn't very many streams these past month and a half or something like that. And it's not that it's like I don't want to, but I try like every Sunday. But like for some reason, I don't know why, my internet is just being so bad with my uploading speed. I don't know why. So whenever I go to live stream, it has a very, very low latency. So like whenever you see the gameplay, it's super choppy. It's just impossible to watch. So if anybody knows a like fix to this or something like that, like, cause I don't think it's my internet, because you know I've had the same internet and it worked fine for months I was using it for live streaming, but all of a sudden I get on and now it doesn't work anymore. So that's why I haven't been live streaming as much. I know a lot of people miss it. I get messages on PS4, people ask me when is my next live stream, and I want to tell them, it's Sunday. I keep trying to say I'm trying to get to work Sunday, but I don't know. I tried today, it did not work again, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen, guys. So sorry there's been no live streams. I'm going to try to find a fix for it. I don't know what I could do. I'll be doing some research and things like that. But if you guys have any advice, make sure you put it in the comment section. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.